You know what day it is. It's 10 Toes Tuesday. Come out to this park, and I went over to this other section right across that you can't see, and the geese almost attacked me, but I decided that I wanted to do my 10 Toes Tuesday and have a little lunch. As you can see, I got California roll. I don't know where you are, but I got this from Kroger, the grocery store here. I know in Colorado it's called King Soopers. You can still use your Kroger card. And I was gonna have some lunch and just talk to you guys. If you're new to the channel, it's Lupinya. And my name is Unc, Big Unc, and I do some gun reviews. I do some old head rants. I do this 10 Toes Tuesday that tells you how I try to keep it 10 toes down, how you should too. And we just have fun. If that's something that you're into, reviews and different things, just exploring my life, stick around. Today, we are going to get into a story about Fickle. Now, Fickle was a Boston Terrier, and she was one of my favorite dogs. I'm gonna tell you how I got her name. I named her for a particular woman, but the reason I named her this was because people are fickle. Not just women, people are fickle, men, whatever. So again, this sounds like something you'd like to listen to for the next, I don't know how long this video will be. Stick around, we'll get into it. I have been in a relationship for a few years and decided I wanted to get married. Well, I said that I needed to make an honest woman out of the lady, and I was fine with the relationship that I was currently in, but we ended up getting married, and everything was great at first. We were together 11 years. I think the first 7 were great. We got married, and then you know how it goes. You never really know a person until you know a person. Once I got married, some things came out about the past that kind of, I don't know if, well, obviously we couldn't get past. And she left. She left on, I think it was St. Patty's Day. She left on St. Patty's Day. That was a bit crazy. Uh, Dropped me off at work because at that time we had one car, and she went and got her family, and they packed up everything. A lot of stuff was mine, some stuff was hers, and she moved. She said that it wasn't over, and at that time I was simping because I was hurt that this is supposed to be my wife. This isn't a girlfriend. So yeah, I was simping a little bit, and I'm crying. I wanted her back and all this other stuff, instead of accepting that she was gone, that she had moved out and going on about my life. I pined for a little bit and did stuff around the house, and she would come over every once in a while, but when it was convenient for her, and told me this isn't a divorce, we just need some time apart. If you're ever in that situation, somebody leaves, they say we need some time apart, treat them like an astronaut. I always keep my space pants on, and the jet is always fueled up. I'm not doing that anymore. That really will take you out of simp mode once you realize what you're supposed to be doing as a man. What ended up happening was she filed for divorce. I got served the papers, and we started going our separate ways. I was lonely because my daughters, I get to see them. I have the local rule. If you don't know about the local rule in Ohio, you get to see your kids. I think it's like every Wednesday, every other weekend, and you get to see them every Wednesday from like 5 to 8, something ridiculous like that. And then every other weekend, then you split the holidays. And I think most of the states have a similar law, but that's how the law goes in Ohio. A lot of times I was alone. and I had this truck that my grandfather had given. I wanted some company. Called my dad, and they had just got these Boston Terriers. Now, if you know anything about me, I love pit bulls, terrier breed in general. I love terriers. They had just got these two Boston Terriers, and they were telling me that there were a couple more in the litter. Well, okay. Well, I think I'd like a dog, but I can barely afford to live, so I can't afford to really have a dog right now. They said, well, I'll tell you what, we want a truck. So if you give us the truck and pay for it to be shipped down, we'll pay for the dog and we'll meet halfway. I said, yeah, that sounds great. I need some company, something to help me out. I love Boston Terriers, so let's do that. We met halfway, which was in Kentucky, and halfway was about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hour drive for both of us. Went down, picked up this dog, didn't have a name, and me and my brother are talking. And she's small. If you know anything about Boston, she was about this big at the time, about 8 weeks old, and she was just cute. I just love those and Frenchies and pits. I have to name this dog now. I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at women. I'm mad at everything in general. But the two things that I always knew was God gave me daughters so that I would never be alone. I'd never be without a woman. And he gave me dogs, so I'd always have some type of companionship. So me and my brother were talking, and we said, hey, what should we name this dog? And Popeye came on. You know, Popeye the Sailor Man, he eats the spinach and, shoves it into his mouth. He gets muscles and beats up Brutus and whoever else. But he had this part, and he said, there's one thing official, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it went something like this. There's one thing official. These women are fickle. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. I said, that's it. That's what I'm naming my dog. I'm going to name her Fickle. And my brother said, why are you going to name her Fickle? I said, because bitches are fickle. So I'm going to have a fickle bitch. Fickle was a great dog. Kids loved her. She was snuggly. And once my ex-wife found out that I had the dog, she was upset. But that was on her at the time. Fickle was one of the greatest dogs, and she's still alive. I don't have her anymore. She went to stay with my sister because it just didn't work out with her and Luke and another dog that I was having. So my sister took her because she had a dog named Uzi, a Boston Terrier named Uzi. Uzi was a great dog too. And she stays with them. And Fickle became part of the family. So when I got the house, I couldn't get her back. So she's in a good place. She's still alive. She is 12, 13 years old now. Not moving as fast, but she's still a good dog. A lot of times there will be people, whether it's men or women, that you feel will be in your life forever. It can be family, it can be a friend, it can be your mom, it can be your dad, it can be anybody. Yep. It's a couple days later. Change into some clothes for the weather because it's rainy here. I had some things to take care of, and I ran out of time to make the rest of the video in one shot, but I like this a little bit better. Change of scenery. But yeah, I named my dog Fickle. And I loved Fickle. But she was a reminder to me to not be a simp. Don't simp to family. Don't simp to myself. And, I don't worry about other people simping. I have to stay true to myself. I have to make sure that I'm not wishy-washy. And that's basically what fickle is. If you look up the definition, it says their loyalty changes, their taste change, different things change, and it's drastic things. That's why I named her Fickle, to give me a constant reminder that no matter what you do, for some people, it's not going to be enough. And when it's not good enough for those people, and you're not enough for those people, walk away. Remember who you are. Remember who you are as a person, as a man, as a woman, and stand 10 toes down on it. And that's why I named her Fickle, because everybody is not going to stand 10 toes down with you. And once I embraced that, and I stopped that simp mentality, and I got her and told my wife exactly what I named the dog and why I named the dog, that was the nail in the coffin. But I was done at that point. I had made up my mind I was not going to simp for her any longer. And again, you may have someone in your life that is fickle. And I'm not necessarily saying to get rid of that person. Just know what you are dealing with. Know that they are going to be like that, but you have to stand 10 toes down for you. So you have to stand up for you and let them be wishy-washy, or stay in your life or leave your life. Like I told you, I got the jet all fueled up, and I got the spacesuit pants on. And if you tell me you need some space, I'm going to give you as much space as you need. As much space as you need. But when you look around, I'm to the moon. Until next time, and there will be a next time, I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's a good day. I'm going to have a good day now. I'm on this apple diet. And so I'm eating nothing but apples and water, trying to shed some pounds and get that metabolism up a little bit and shed some more pounds. I have lost some, and I'm on the journey to lose a little more. So keep watching. You'll see. Some days I'll look puffy. Some days it'll look smaller, but eventually you should see me shrink. That's my goal, at least, and I'm not going to be fickle about it. And again, I'll see you guys soon. I'm out.